Alright, for this video, you should be on the page that says Investigating Interactions Between Light Waves and Different Types of Matter. You are first going to just spread out the contents, and I'm going to kind of help you here. And I told them to pick 2 things they thought were opaque, 2 things they thought they were translucent, and 2 things they thought were transparent. And they kind of had to use what they knew already. And in number 3, they wrote down the rule they used. We're going to do this kind of backwards since we're doing it in a video. But the rule they used for opaque is they thought they couldn't see through it. If you couldn't see through it, they thought it was opaque. If it's translucent, they said they could sort of see through it. And if it's transparent, they could totally see through it. That was the rule that most people used. Okay? So, I told them to try to find 2 for each column. So most people took this and said, oh, can't see it. It belongs under opaque. So they would write aluminum foil under opaque. Let's see if I can find something else. A lot of people took this baggy and said, that's probably opaque. Can't really see through it. And some people put this under opaque, this red square, but some people put under translucent because you can see your fingers. It kind of just depended on what they thought, but definitely the first 2 I showed you would belong under opaque. Okay, then, like I said, some people took this red square and said, well, I can see my fingers through it. That means I should sort of see through it. That would be translucent. Another one was this square with lines in it, kind of a lined square. They said, well, I can sort of see through it the other side. So that would be translucent. And this one that's bumpy. They're like, well, I could sort of see through it. Can't see totally through it. That's translucent. And a lot of people put like a tissue because they could see their fingers. That was translucent. And tissue paper, wax paperish tissue paper. They could see their fingers. So they said that was translucent. And one that was kind of up for debate was this green one. Because they're like, well, if I can see everything in green. But since I only could see it in green, a lot of people put that as translucent. All right, then we had a bunch of things as transparent, like a transparency paper, this I don't know, square thing, a slide. You can see, they said, well, I can totally see through that. That's transparent. So those were kind of sorted. Then I said, okay, pick. So they only had to pick 2 of each. So we're only going to pick 2 of each that we thought, and then we're going to test them by turning off the lights, looking at the flashlight. So write down some of the things on the first page that you thought were opaque, translucent, and transparent, and the rules we talked about. Pause the video and do that. Then turn the page. Now you should be on the page that has, we're going to turn on the lamp, and we're going to list the 6 objects, and we're going to description of the light wave. So I'm going to shine a light wave through the object. So I'm going to take a light, shine the object, light through the object onto this whiteboard. And if I see light totally through it, all the light pretty much through it, then it's going to be transparent. So that's what they're asking when it says description of light. Do I totally see the light coming through? Okay, or is it somewhat blocked, or is it totally I can't see anything? And then I'm going to reclassify. Was I right? Opaque, translucent, or transparent? Okay, so I'm going to turn off the lights now so that we can make the observations. Turn on a flashlight, so hopefully we will be able to see this. And I'm going to take, so there's my flashlight, and I'm going to start with the paper bag and aluminum foil. So it's going to be hard for you to see, but you can't see any light on the other side other than a shadow. So the paper bag is opaque. You can sort of see here. Here's my light, and if I put this up, here's my light, and if I put this up, you cannot see light on the whiteboard, so the aluminum foil is opaque. Let's do some things that we thought were translucent. This tissue paper, so there's my light. If you look on the other side, you can sort of see some light coming through. Most of it's shining on it, but you can see some light on the other side a little bit. And then the tissue, like as in a tissue you blow your nose on. It's kind of hard to see with the angle of this, but you can see some light coming on the other side. This bumpy square, you can definitely see it on the other side. So these are all pretty translucent. You can see some light on the other side. And then we're going to take the one that was controversial, some of the controversial. Ooh, we only see green light, but we see quite a bit of light. Still translucent, but it's only green. And then the red, you can see some red on the other side, so that would be translucent. Now we're going to take some things that we thought were transparent. Totally see through it. Light totally goes through it. And I can't find the other thing. But now you're going to go fill in your chart paper, and I'm going to turn the lights back on. Okay, so pick each of those, fill in the chart. So here's an example. They said folder, but we used, instead of folder, we used the paper bag. But the light waves are blocked by it. No light passes through, so it'd be opaque. The wax paper, some of the light was able to pass through it, but not all of it, so it's translucent. And then like plastic wrap or anything like that. Like we use the plastic transparencies. Light was able to pass through it, so it is transparent. So now, they came up with diagrams, and this was really important. So you may want to see a neighbor's diagram, but this is a description of the diagrams you should draw. So try it on your own, but this would be what you should see on number 8. You should have a labeled diagram. You should be able to, you would be drawing from the flashlight light going straight through the object to the other side. Translucent light going, some being stopping at the item and some going straight through. And then also opaque, you would see light just stopping at the object. Now the only thing that we said that seemed to be missing here is reflection. In order to actually see the object, you actually have to have some light reflecting back to your eyes. So there is part in my video, in my PowerPoint where we talk about that, especially like this green square. This green square is translucent, true, and some light is passing through and some is being absorbed. But for every object that's not black, there's some light that's reflecting off of it back to my eyes. And in this instance, green is bouncing back to my eye, and green is also passing through to the other side. So just be careful, even though the diagrams really didn't talk about color yet or seeing the object. All objects that are seeable have to be, even if they're transparent, translucent, or opaque, have to have some component of reflection in order for us to see them as humans. So that's where we kind of stopped on that. But you might want to check a neighbor's diagram because we did get pretty involved on that.